Hi pupils and everyone who is listening to me right now. My name is Teacher Machibia. I would like to invite you and to welcome you in this session as we are going to discuss social studies. As you know, I'm a social study teacher, a special social studies class 4. So I would like to invite you, to welcome everybody to discuss the first topic or the first chapter, as today we are going to discuss about recognizing different events occurring in the environment. So our topic, as it is the first topic, we are going to discuss about environment. So it is all about environment. And the first subtopic, we are going to discuss about conserve the environment surrounding the community. Conserve the environment surrounding the community. This is a first subtopic we are going to discuss today. As we are going now to start our first subtopic in this first topic, so we should know the meaning of environment, and this is simple to you. Most of you know the meaning of environment as it is anything that surrounding us. Anything that surrounding us, we call it environment. Wherever you are there, if there is chair, that chair is environment. If there is table, that table is environment. If there is ruler, if there is spoon, if there is bed, if there is TV, if there is a tree, if there is a stone, those are things which surrounding you, and we call them environment. Anything that surrounding you is called the environment, wherever you are. So there are some things which are found at home environment, there are some things that are found at a school environment, there are some things which are found at a hospital environment, market environment, and everywhere. So things that surrounding you, wherever you are, we call them environment. These are examples of trees, and most of these trees, they are found in our environment. It can be home environment or wherever, but trees are examples of environment because they are found in our environment. They surround us. Trees are examples of environment, as you can see on this picture. House is an environment because different houses they use to surround us in our street, in our areas. We can find there are many houses surrounding us. So those houses are also, we call them environment. So environment contains things that can either be living things or non-living things. So environment contains things which they can either be living things or non-living things. Let us discuss about living things. What are the living things? Living things, these are things that consist all things which have life. Anything that have life, we call it a living thing. Anything that have life, we call it living thing. For example, we have birds. Birds, these are living things. We have animals. All animals are living things. We have plants. All plants are living things. Why are living things? We know the characteristics of living things. Characteristics of living things are, these are few to mention. Number one, we have movement. Living things, they do move, changing position from one place to another place. As we know, birds, they used to move from one place to another place, so they are living things because they have that characteristic of movement. Animals also, they move. Plants also, they move. But in plants here, what is moving are leaves and roots. Roots are moving in the ground, searching for water and minerals. But leaves, they are moving, they are growing in different direction, looking for sunlight. So living things, they do move. But also living things reproduce, to reproduce the young ones. You can find there are young animals, they produced by the big animals. We have plants, they produce the young ones. That is the characteristic of living things. Living things die. So animals die, plants die, birds die. Those are few examples of characteristics of living things. So these, we call them living things because they possess those characteristics. But also another group of things which are found in our environment are non-living things. Non-living things. So non-living things, these consist of things that do not have life on them. It is vice versa of living things. Living things, they are things that have life. But non-living things, these are things that have no life. For example, of things which have no life, we have stones. Stones, they are non-living things. They do not move. They do not die. They do not eat. There is no excretion on these stones. But also land and water bodies. These are non-living things because they do not have those characteristics of living things. So living things and non-living things is contained in the environment can be categorized into two main groups of components of the environment. So both living things and non-living things, but also are categorized into main two groups of components of the environment. The first component, we have natural components. Natural components. So these contain all things that exist on their own. When we say natural, it means these are things which are not made by human beings. They exist naturally. Or in other words, you can say they are made by God. They are made by God. They are not made by human beings. These are natural components of the environment. So this means they are not made by human beings. For example, we have rivers. Rivers, they are natural rivers. Most of rivers, they are natural. They are not made by human beings. Example of river, we have River Nile. That is a big examples of river which is natural, is not made by human beings. River Malagalas. That is an example of river which is found in our country, and it is natural component of the environment. Also we have mountains. Example, Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Meru, Mount Uruguru, and different mountains, which they are naturally, they exist by their own. We can say they are made by God. No human being made it. Also you have grasses. Grasses also, they are natural. They are not made by human beings. They grow naturally in our environment, and in our environment you can find most of us, there are some grasses that are found around us in our home environment. Those are examples of natural components of the environment. We have also animals. Animals are not made by human beings, and trees are not made by human beings, and the forests also are not made by human beings. So you can mention other things which are not made by human beings. There are a lot of examples which are not made by human beings. Example of forest, there we are talking about a natural forest. But also we have man-made or artificial components. Man-made or artificial components. These are all things in the environment that are made by man. For example, roads, houses, bridges. Man-made or artificial components, these are all things in the environment that are made by man. For example, roads, houses, bridges. Roads are constructed by human beings. Houses are constructed also by human beings. Bridges also they are constructed by human beings. So these are man-made. They are artificial components because human being is the one who is his effort used to make these things. So these are man-made or artificial components of the environment. So from there now you have understood the meaning of environment and things which are found in our environment. So the first part here to discuss, another part here is environmental conservation. So let us discuss about environmental conservation. Environmental conservation. To conserve means to protect. To conserve the environment means to protect the environment from any destruction or danger. So by definition now, environmental conservation is the process of protecting the environment from any destruction or danger. Environmental conservation is the process of protecting the environment from any destruction or danger. So to conserve things which are found in your environment, which is surrounding you, you are conserving the environment. Example, you are surrounded with trees. So to conserve those trees, it means to protect those trees, it means you are conserving the environment. You are protecting the environment. To conserve your house or to protect your house from any destruction, you are conserving the environment. To protect bridges which are found in our roads, you are conserving the environment. So to protect anything which is surrounding you, you are conserving the environment. As we said, environment is anything that's surrounding you. So once you are protecting that thing which is surrounding you, you are conserving that environment from any destruction or danger. That is what we call it, environmental conservation. So we should protect the things which they are surrounding us. Very important. Environment can be conserved or protected through various ways, such as, so how now can we protect our environment? How can we protect the environment? There are some things, there are some ways that we can use to protect the environment. Number one, we have afforestation. Afforestation. This is the process of planting trees in an area where there were no trees before. Afforestation is the process of planting trees in an area where there were no trees before. Okay, assume in an area, there is a certain area, before there were no tree, even a single tree. There were totally, completely no tree. So once we start to plant trees for the first time, once we start to plant trees on that area for the first time, that process is called afforestation. The process of planting trees in an area where there were no trees before. The meaning of the word before. Before there were no trees. So we are going to plant trees for the first time. That is what we call afforestation. Afforestation. Planting trees where there were no trees before. In other ways, we can say afforestation is the process of cutting down trees and planting. No. This is the process of planting trees in an area where there were no trees. That is afforestation. So, as you can see in the picture there, people are planting trees. As you can see on that area, it seems that before there were no trees, even one tree. So these people, they are starting afforestation, to plant trees for the first time. They are starting plantation on that area. That is what we call afforestation. So another way used to conserve the environment is reforestation. Reforestation. So reforestation is the process of planting trees in an area that once had trees or forests but have been cut or harvested. Is the process of planting trees in an area that once had trees or forests but have been cut or harvested. That is what we call reforestation. So reforestation, it means trees were there before, but people have been cut those trees for different purposes. People cut down trees for different purposes. So once we start to plant those trees for the second time, for another time, to replace them, is what we call reforestation. So it's the process of planting trees in an area that once had trees or forests but have been cut or harvested. That is what we call afforestation. Or afforestation is the cutting down of trees and plant another. Simple definition. Is the process of planting trees, the process of cutting down trees and planting another. It means trees were there, people they cut down and then they plant another. That is what we call reforestation. As you can see, 2001, the difference between 2001 and 2019. In 2001, you can see that area had no trees. Very little amount of trees. The area was distracted. The area have been distracted. No trees, people have cut down trees for different purposes. But once they started to establish reforestation, the result of reforestation you can see now in 2019. Now a lot of trees are planted and a lot of trees have grown up. That is the effect, the result of reforestation in 2019. Another way of conserving the environment or protecting the environment is educating the community. One way that we can use to protect the environment is to educate the community. How can we educate the community? The community should be educated on the importance of keeping the environment. Very important to educate the people on how to keep the environment and the importance of keeping the environment. For example, we can find people that are cutting down trees. So you can educate them that cutting down trees is something very bad, because we know the importance of trees. Trees, they support brain formation. Trees, they give us good air, fresh air. Trees give us shade during sun. So keeping the environment is very, very important. So you can educate these people, educate the people who are living on that area on the importances of keeping the environment. Another way that we can use to conserve the environment is cleaning our environment. Cleaning our environment. So we should clean our environment in order to remove all waste materials. We should clean our environment in order to remove all waste materials. The waste materials should be thrown into waste pits. The waste material should be thrown into waste pits. We should clean our environment in order to remove all waste materials. The waste materials should be thrown into waste pits. So, cleaning the environment is something very important in our environment. Any environment, home environment, school environment, market environment, to clean that environment, something very important, because once we will not clean the environment, we can cause the eruption of diseases. There are a lot of diseases that can erupt due to the environment become dead. And if we will not clean the environment, we can get a lot of problems. So it's very important to clean our environment, home environment, even bedroom environment, even self-cleanliness, to wash your clothes, wash your body, something very important as you are protecting that environment. Okay, another way is proper disposal of waste. Proper disposal of waste. Waste material should be properly disposed so as to protect our environment. Waste material should be properly disposed so as to protect our environment. Users are responsible for the proper disposal of waste generated during their work. Waste material should be properly disposed so as to protect the environment. Once we will not dispose the waste properly, also it can endanger us. It can endanger our health, because the waste material, which if are not properly disposed, also it can cause eruption of diseases. A lot of diseases that can erupt due to the environment, due to the waste materials are not properly disposed. So users are responsible for their proper disposal of the waste generated during their work. So the improper waste disposal may severely endanger public health and the environment. As you can see, those iron pits, iron dustbin. Those iron dustbin are made so that you can dispose the waste in a proper way. As you can see, the environment is clean. All waste materials are disposed in the dustbin. Another way of keeping the environment is called zero grazing. Zero grazing. This is a way of keeping small number of animals in a shed and supplying them with foodstuff such as fodder and grasses. This will not destroy the environment, especially land. So, to keep a small number of animals in an area, it will support the conservation of the environment. Because once you keep many animals in a small area, the land will be destroyed, because that big number of animals which are kept there, they will step on the land and destroy that land. But also they will eat all grasses and left the land bare with no any vegetation cover. So this will destroy the environment. This will not destroy the environment, especially the land. Zero grazing. The meaning is zero, small number of animals, zero grazing. As you can see in your picture here, those animals, those cows, are kept in a specific area and they are supplied with food. Grasses, pastures are given there. So they won't move different places looking for pastures, and they won't destroy the environment because are living in a particular place. So other environment will remain safe and clean. Another is building sewage system. This will transport liquid waste far away from people's home. Therefore, our environment will remain clean and safe. Building sewage system. This will transport liquid waste far away from people's home. Therefore, our environment will remain clean and safe. As you know, in our environment, there are some pipelines that used to be constructed to transport the liquid waste, the waste which are found in the liquid form. There are some pipes that used to be constructed along our street so that they can transport the waste which are found in liquid form far away from people's home. Therefore, our environment will remain clean and safe. So it is very important for the government, especially government, to construct the proper sewage system so that they can transport the liquid waste from one place to another place, or to transport those liquid waste far away from people's home where we are living. So it will make our environment remain safe and protected. Thank you for listening to me in this session. So the next session also we shall continue other ways used to conserve the environment. So for today, let us end there, and I hope we will meet in another session, and we will continue to discuss these things or these ways used to protect the environment. Welcome. See you again. Bye bye.